Hello, this is Lloyd from Blackpool Air Rifles bringing you another video on new products and a little bit of industry gossip. We haven't done one of these videos for a couple of weeks actually, so I've got a little bit to catch up with. We've got some interesting new products to show you. We've got the new Nikko Sterling scopes, the Panamax range. We've got the new Weihrauch HW100 with the laminate stock and the adjustable cheek piece, the Styer Scout. We've also got a new coating system that I'm going to quickly talk to you about and show you a couple of examples that we're going to be selling. And last but no means least, we've got the Daystate Pulsar. I went to the Daystate factory yesterday to make a visit. It was really interesting, so I'm going to discuss a little bit about that later on and show you the new Pulsar and give you a quick rundown of my thoughts, what we think of it. But I'm going to get on with it. So first things first, we've got the new Nikko Sterling scopes. Everybody's probably had Nikko Sterling scopes in their life. They're, very, very popular brand. They're classed as an economy type scope, but quality is far better than the price would suggest. A lot of people really like Nikko's. Reliability has been excellent as well. So we were a little bit worried that actually the range that they're discontinuing, which was the Gold Crown, the Air Kings, we were a little bit concerned about what they were going to replace them with, but actually we didn't need to be, because we've had a look at the scopes now and they're excellent. Anyway, this is the new range. They're called the Panamaxes. They're available in illuminated reticule and non-illuminated reticule. The ones I'm going to show you here have all got illuminated reticules, but obviously the non-illuminated are cheaper. For example, this one is the 3-9x40. In non-illuminated, we're going to be doing it for 99, and in illuminated they're 129. So there's basically a £30 difference between the two. Quick rundown on the scopes. As you can see, it's a pretty standard, straightforward looking scope. You've got the parallax on the traditional fronts, which actually for a 1-inch tube scope is probably the best place for parallax to be. If you took that parallax and put it there, that actually intrudes into the scope space and basically reduces usually the amount of light that actually gets through the scope. So having the parallax on the front of a 1-inch tube scope is a good idea. What they've done though is, like I said, parallax is there. They put the illuminator on the side, which as you can see is variable. I think there's about 8 levels, is there? No, actually there's 5 levels in green and red. And you've obviously got the magnification adjuster at the back. Nice big letters, nice and clear, so easy to see. Another important point, we've got see-through lens covers as well. Another important thing about these Panamaxes is they've actually improved the lens coatings. We've checked them out, and I must admit that the lenses are definitely better than the Gold Crowns. Disadvantage, obviously, they're a little bit more expensive, but you do get what you pay for. I think they've done a good job with the Panamax. Really, really nice scope. The reticule is a 1/2 mil dot. I don't know whether there's going to be any others available, but the 1/2 mil dot has proven really popular, so I think they've made a good choice. So that's the 3-9x40. They also do a 4-12x50, and they do a 4.5 to 14x50. If you can compare the two, it's not an awful lot bigger than the 3-9x40, which is quite good. So for a 4.5 to 14x50, it's a reasonably compact scope. Okay, that one is 129, 3-9, 4-12 I think is 149, and the 4.5 to 14x50 is 169. That's our price, is not recommended retail. We're chopping about £40–50 off the recommended retail. So I think for 169, that 4.5 to 14 is going to be a really good competitor to something like the maybe the MTC lightweights and some of the Deebens as well. So nice scope. Really happy about those. Okay, ignore the phone. Somebody will get it. Right, okay, so that's the new scopes out of the way. We're on to the rifles. First things first, we'll go with the Steyr. Now that is called the, it is actually a hunting 5, but they're actually calling it the Scout. Now I had a hunting 5 last year, really enjoyed using it, but I was a little bit disappointed at the fact that it was way too long. Now, as you can see, it's actually quite a bit shorter. I haven't measured the differences, but I think it's around about 4 inches shorter, which actually means that the gun feels really, really compact. And you've also got the pressure gauge standard on the front with a quick fill port. So basically you'll get a charging nipple that fits into the front there, and that charges it, so you don't have to take the cylinder off to charge it anymore, which again, you know, most air rifles are like that these days. Seems a lot of German manufacturers have been a little bit slow on actually updating their systems to do that, but that is a really welcome addition. The Scout has got the usual 5-shot magazine, and there is the cocking bolt on the side, so obviously when you fire it you can just basically click that back, release, fire, click it back, fire again. Really nice and quick. So that is the Scout. The other good bit of news apart from the compactness of the rifle is the price. The old Hunting 5 was I think £17.25. This one is £16.99. So there's £26 less. Obviously you could say, yeah, you're getting less metal for your money, but actually it's because of the exchange rate has improved somewhat. So Steyr UK, which these are official imports by the way. There is a few grey imports about, but obviously we like to deal with official importers, so if anything goes wrong, these things I don't have to go back to Germany or God knows where, these go back to Steyr UK. And if anybody knows Steyr UK and Harry Preston, he does a fantastic job, he knows exactly what he's talking about, turnaround's really good, bit of an expert in his field, so we're very happy to deal with him. Might be a fraction dearer than actually a grey importing one, but at the end of the day I think it's worth the slight extra cost. Okay, so that is the new Styer Scout. Put that to one side. The next one we've got, very, very popular rifle, the HW100. Now this one is the carbine one. This is the spec that this particular model is available in. So it's called the KT, which K is obviously carbine and T is thumb hole. You can see this one is laminated stock. They've done an absolutely fantastic job of the stock. The finish is absolutely superb, really, really comfortable, really nice, looks different. Not everybody's cup of tea. I really like it, and I like laminate because it's really strong as well. The main difference with this rifle, as you can see, it's got an adjustable cheek piece. It's actually multi-adjustable as well, which basically means it will actually slide fore and aft, so backwards and forwards, and it will slide up and down. There is basically a little Allen key that you shove in there, and that allows it to be altered, and then when you've got it in the position that you want for your face, tighten it up. Another nice little point is the recoil pad is now adjustable. So again, Allen key in the rear, and then it'll slide up and down, and it'll be a damn sight more comfortable. Yet more good news, it just never ends. The old HW100 KT laminate was $899, so you're obviously going to expect this is going to cost more. No, it doesn't. It costs exactly the same. This is also $899. Again, I think we're just benefiting from the better exchange rate at the moment. So exactly the same price as the old KT thumb hole laminate, and you get the addition of the adjustable cheek piece, which is really nice. I think Weihrauch have done a good job. Fantastic rifle. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really need to say anymore, because I think if you're into air gunning, you already know the Weihrauch brand, and you obviously know that the quality of stuff that it produces is fantastic. And the HW100, although it was late to market, I think Weihrauch did the homework really well. It produced a really cracking air rifle. Okay, so that's the new, this is on the website by the way as well, which is www.airgunbuyer.com, so we've got these on the website now for sale. Obviously got them in the shop, so if you want to come and have a look at them, feel free. Next we've got a new coating, not a necessarily new gun. Obviously you can see that it's been applied to a Weihrauch 97K with the laminate stock, which again looks absolutely fabulous, and again good job Weihrauch. But the important thing with this one is actually the coating. Now Cerakote is basically a firearms approved or firearms spec coating. It's designed to be weather resistant, abrasive solvent resistant, scratch resistant, just basically just about everything resistant. The nice thing is as well as you can see, this one's been done, and I think this is titanium grey. You'll have to bear with me if I'm getting it wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the titanium grey finish. It's available in multiple colours. If you want to have a look at what's available and you decide you want to go for this yourself, type in Cerakote, which is Cerakote, Cerakote, onto Google. And on the Cerakote website you'll see that there are absolutely hundreds of colours available. Browns, greys, greens, you name it, all sorts of weird and wonderful things. The company that we're using will do just about anything, to be honest with you. Any, multiple colours. You can see that the loading port's been done in black. Scope's obviously been done to match as well. Prices vary, to be honest with you, but we are going to put them on the website. You're probably looking around about, I think it's about £150 for a spring rifle, a little bit more for a pre-charge because it has to be stripped down and it's a little bit more complicated. I think you're looking around about £200 for a pre-charge rifle, but it's a great alternative to bluing. It looks completely different, and it's more weatherproof, to be honest with you. So that's the Cerakote. That's a titanium grey colour. We've also done, just as a bit of an experiment to show you, we've done a Huntsman, Daystate Huntsman, in a bronze finish. You'll have to excuse the stock, to be honest with you. We were just experimenting with the stock. Obviously, this is not a standard stock, not a standard finish anywhere. Normally they're wood. This one is like a black, rubbery coated sort of grainy finish stock, and I thought actually it looked quite nice with the bronze, but you can see I think that's worked out really nicely, to be honest with you. If you also want, you could just have your bolt done, you could have your scope done, whatever you want in Cerakote. So if you're interested in the finish, maybe have a read about it on Google, and if you're keen on it, choose your colour, bring your rifle down or whatever you want, and we'll get it sorted for you. The turnaround time, we're saying about 7 days, but to be honest with you, it's normally a little bit quicker than that. So I think that looks absolutely fabulous. I don't know whether you agree with me, but that's the Cerakote rifle finishes. Okay, now for the main event. Like I say, yesterday I popped down to Daystate, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you the new Pulsar. It comes in a really nice box. It is very impressive. The finish, and for some reason I can never get into these boxes. I think I need an adult to help me. Okay. This is the Pulsar. This is actually the Oro series, which is basically the Gold series. And there we go. You can see that I'll go through everything. Basically, it comes in a really nice foam lined box. You've got the magazine, you've got a little charging adapter, standard Daystate Fair charging adapter. You also get a new catalogue. In fact, I'll just put that down a second. Handbook. Okay, we've got a new colour scheme for Daystate. Actually, quite interesting. But you can see in there, I mean, these guys are nothing if not thorough and very professional. So you've got a fantastic little thing, including the parts diagram, all the explanations about programming, because obviously this gun is electronic, pellet recommendations, fitting the scope, etc, etc. Comes with a lovely little certificate. And you also get, now this is fairly new as well, this is the air rifle test sheet. Funnily enough, when I was down at Daystate yesterday, I was actually watching them do this. This basically gives you the velocity statistics. So you've got a minimum, a maximum, average, energy statistics. This one's doing 11.400 foot-pounds. It's actually been tested by somebody in particular, and it's been checked as well. Now, when I was there, I actually was paying close attention to these guys working on the range, and this is exactly what happens. They were putting guns through on the range, and these velocities that are written on the paper is actually with the pellets that they use. They were exactly right. So there's no cover up at all. This is absolutely spot on information, which is a really nice little touch actually to put in with the rifle. And you've also got a little bit of info. Well, you've got other bits of information on little bits of paper all over the place. Comes with a 3-year warranty as well. and you've also got the final packing checklist as well to make sure that everything is there that's supposed to be. So again, you know, very thorough, which I really like. But let's get down to the rifle, because that's what you're going to be interested in, and not like bits of paper. Okay, so this is the Pulsar. This is the Oro series. Basic differences is you've got a gold-plated cocking lever, gold plating, and obviously limited edition. You're going to be looking at, if you maybe want to sit down before I tell you the price, £1,995 for this rifle. Like I said, it is limited edition. And when I actually watched this gun going through the process yesterday, you know, I was just absolutely amazed about the amount of time and effort they're going to get these guns absolutely perfect. But it's, as you can see, it's a bullpup. It's quite radical in some ways, to be honest with you. Obviously, you've got a very interesting stock design. You've got this new sort of this special moulding on the front, which I think they've done a fantastic job with. They've got a little bit of input mouldings there built into the stock. You've got an adjustable. Now, some people do like the grip, some people don't like the grip. I actually find it really, really comfortable, and I think they've actually done a good job in matching that grip to the rest of the rifle. Everything looks like in place. Okay, so we've got some really nice, interesting touches. You've obviously got the cheek piece on the side of the block, so you're not putting your face directly onto the alloy. You've got a built-in scope level. Now, some people would think that was a gimmick, but actually, a really important thing about a spirit level is on a bullpup, for example, you've got a much higher axis of scope above your barrel. So if you imagine if you are holding the rifle and that rifle is not straight, because when you count the rifle from side to side, obviously it means that the scope moves more. So in actual fact, a small amount of cant will obviously translate into a bigger discrepancy between where the barrel is pointed and where the scope is pointed. By having a little spirit level on the back, you can make sure that actually you're not canting the rifle and theoretically make the combination a little bit more accurate. So that's a lovely little touch. Another thing I also learnt yesterday is that the gun is easily changeable from left to right handed. You take that off. The cheek piece, this comes back, there is a bolt that runs through there, you take the bolt out, the lever comes off, it can be turned round, this piece here is turned round as well. You're probably looking at about a 5-10 minute job, and you can actually turn it into left-handed, which is a lovely little touch. Excellent little safety catch. I tell you what I did learn as well, the programming was superb, very easy to program. The gun actually comes with a built-in laser. I personally couldn't. I don't use lasers. I don't bother with them. Although it's a bit of fun, and actually you can use them for range finding. But I didn't like the idea of the laser, so I asked Tony Bealis if it can be turned off, and he literally within 10 seconds he pulled the trigger in. The programming menu comes up, he just clicked it through to there, pressed it again, laser was off. It literally just took seconds. And I think, you know, with an electronic gun you want things like as simple as possible, and the way that it's been designed, the programming now, it really is foolproof. And obviously you've got the instructions as well that you can read through, and you know, so you get a good idea of what's going on. Number of shots per charge, you're looking around, there's about 200 in 177 and 250 in 2.2, which is absolutely plenty. And in actual fact, I don't know whether you noticed, but the laser is on now. Now the laser actually only comes on when the gun is cocked. Okay, so once you've actually fired it, the laser will go off. Lots of other nice touches. I mean, the build quality and the way that the guns are put together, and the actual amount of testing on these rifles, I was really surprised, to be honest with you. And this leads me, and sorry, you'll have to bear with me because my dog's seen the laser. So I'm just gonna get rid of that. So it's gone off. Right, thank you very much. Yeah. So obviously there you go. The laser works because the dogs have gone mad. What it leads me on to actually is really Daystate in general. I want to talk a little bit more about Daystate in general. So if you've sort of seen I'll tell you another thing as well. Before I stop talking about the Pulsar, When I saw this in the pictures, I was like really disappointed, to be honest with you. I actually didn't think that the gun would be my cup of tea. And actually, when I've spoken to all my staff and some of the customers as well, there hasn't really been a lot of really keen interest about it. But what's really funny is that when you see it in the pictures, it doesn't really justify the money. When you actually see it in the flesh, it's actually really nice. And we've already had a couple of customers look at this, and to be honest with you, people are really impressed by it. So I know you're watching it on a video at the moment, but if you are genuinely want to have a look at one of these things, we're going to have this in the shop. We're not going to sell this particular one. This is a demo one, and I would like people to come down to the shop, pick it up and handle it, and just see what you think for yourself, because I think a lot of people will be pleasantly surprised by it. And that's something that I think it's really important to sort of explain. You need to actually see this in the flesh to appreciate it. Another little thing as well is a lot of people don't like bullpups because of the cocking lever. You can see it's been brought forward a little bit, and I'm going to show you that actually it's not. It sort of looks. It looks more awkward than it is, because I've actually been trying this rifle out. And do you know what, actually, after you've been using it for 10 minutes, you don't really notice it anymore. But the cocking lever is actually quite a way back, okay? But to actually cock it, you have to bring your hand back, forward and back like that. Now, yeah, it might look a little bit awkward, but actually, it's really easy, to be honest with you. So that's something that you can easily do, okay? I'm going to just actually fire it off again, because again, the dogs are going to go mad over the laser. You can see as well, you've got the usual LCD screen. Anyway, that's enough about the Pulsar. If you want to see it, come down to the shop. We've got them in stock. There's also like a couple of other models coming. There's a laminated one called the Laminated Forest, or the Forest Laminate. There's a grey laminate, or people know it as the pepper laminate. They're going to be cheaper. They're going to be $17.95, and also as well later on I think there's going to be like a black synthetic one, which is also, I think is going to be $17.95, so a couple of £100 cheaper, exactly the same performance. So if you're looking at saving a little bit of money, you want it a little bit cheaper, then maybe go for the other one. I actually quite like the Forest Laminate, and I think, to be honest with you, that's the one that I'm going to plump for in 2.2. Because I am actually now, despite what I said a couple of weeks ago to a lot of customers, I'm going to buy one of these things, and I'm going to try it out, because after going to the Daystate factory yesterday and looking at the way everything's running, it sort of turned me on to the idea that this thing is really sort of like a Swiss watch of air rifles. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'll be able to give you a little bit more feedback as I get hold of mine and start using it. When I went to the Daystate factory yesterday, by the way, now if you've had enough of the rifles, you don't want to hear me yapping on about Daystate and everything, you can turn off now, and thank you very much for watching, appreciate it. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the visit to Daystate I made yesterday. The reason I went to Daystate, because I wanted to sort of experience firsthand exactly what's going on down there, see the new factory, but also as well talk to them about a few of the little niggly problems that we've had over the last year, and see like where they're up to, and you know how they're reacting to some possible, well, I mean basically to some of the bad press that they've been receiving about power issues and reliability, etc, etc. In all honesty, I was expecting, like most companies, that they were going to sweep it under the carpet, they were going to do the usual sort of British layering technique of pretending it doesn't exist and it will go away on its own. And I sat down with a couple of the big wigs at Daystate, including Tony Bealis, and explained to them what I thought about what was going on with Daystate and the perceived problems that Daystate have had over the last couple of months, particularly with the magazines. We've had a little bit of a problem with magazines jamming and not working properly. Maybe some of you have had that problem as well. We've had a little bit of a problem with power issues, especially on the Regals. And what really struck me, to be honest with you, was the sincerity and the honesty of the guys at Daystate. One, they admitted that they had problems. They did explain why some of the problems were occurring. But also as well, the really important thing, and I think this is important with a lot of companies, we all know that everybody makes mistakes. You know, we make mistakes. It's how you actually fix the problems when they occur. Now, Daystate are putting quite a few new processes, including the way that they're testing the rifles. That they're making sure that these rifles are going out the correct power, they're testing them. I mean, they were even leading the barrels up on the Pulsars before they actually chronographed them to make sure that the power was exactly right. And like I say, I watched these guys actually chronographing and doing various checks on these rifles yesterday, and it's above and beyond what I would expect most air rifle manufacturers to do. But Daystate know that they need to do this because they want to get back to the position that they were in sort of 6 to 12 months ago. They want people to know that they actually do care about the business and they do care about what people are saying, and you know, and there was a little bit of an admission that they dropped the ball a little bit, but they were coming back strong, and I had that feeling after I'd spoken to them at length, and if anybody knows me, I'm not, I don't mince my words, to be honest with you, and I actually said stuff to Daystate. I was a little bit worried, to be honest with you, because I thought they'd be quite upset, but actually they took it on the chin and they sort of said, look, we're making sure that the testing procedures are right, we're making sure that the actual quality production is absolutely spot on, the tolerances of the machine parts is absolutely superb, and I think since they've got into the new factory, things have really improved, and in fact, if the new factory is it's a fabulous setup, and what I noticed as well from talking to the guys that were actually working there, that every single one of them is not only enthused about the product, but they actually do care about what is coming out. So I'm pretty confident that actually some of these little hiccups, and they are pretty, I mean, if you've got a magazine that doesn't work, it's a big deal. But these things are being sorted out, and I'm really happy to see that. So I came away from the Daystate factory yesterday, and I was actually really happy about what I saw. And we're going to really refocus our efforts on Daystate, to be honest with you, because it's a British company. The guys are good guys. There's no doubt about it. They care about the product. And like I said, when you look at the products in person, you realise actually why there is an expense involved. They ain't cheap. There's no doubt about it, but they are definitely premier products, and they want to make sure that not only do you get a premier product when you buy it, but you actually, after 6 months of ownership, you still feel like you've got a premier product. So they showed me some the quality of the wood, by the way, on some of the stocks on the Daystates that are coming through now. Everything seems to be getting a lot better. Some of the parts that we looked at, even just like rooting around, I know it sounds sad, but I was rooting around in the parts bins and looking at screws and washers and nuts and God knows what and everything like that, and everything is, the fit and the finish is absolutely exemplary. They really, it's almost no expense spared, to be honest with you. Which again, you might turn around and say, yeah, of course, for that amount of money, so it should be. But some companies might sell something that's very expensive and take shortcuts. Well, Daystate are not doing that. So, hopefully, and actually, it's not a hope. I think that I'm pretty confident that we're going to see Daystate back to where they were a couple of years ago. And bear in mind that a lot of this technology, including the new electronics on the Pulsar, I mean, it's really expensive to some of the costings for the electronics and the mouldings and stuff like that. It's just incredible, really. They go into some expense to make sure that the electronics work properly, they're waterproof. These things do the job properly and for a long time to come. Going back to actually electronics as well, one of the complaints about the electronic Daystates was the cost and the difficulty of actually replacing the batteries, which I agree. They were using proprietary batteries, they were expensive, they were an absolute pain in the arse to change. I had a Mark III. If a Mark III went wrong, you had to send it back to the factory, it had to be desoldered, blah 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 blah. The Pulsar now has got a little battery box on it. And I don't know whether you know, but the little is it PP9 batteries, the 9-volt batteries with the 2 little connectors on it. You get that connector coming out, you can either attach it to a battery box with the double A's, which obviously you get with it, and you put 4 double A's in it. Bog standard double A. So in other words, you can go down to your local shop to buy some alkaline batteries and bang them in. You can put a 9-volt PP, whatever it is, PP9, PP3, I don't know, I can't remember. But the little rectangular battery, you can run it off that. So in other words, they've listened to feedback from customers and they've rectified it. And I think, to be honest with you, that's a great solution. I mean, double A's, you can get them from anywhere, which is absolutely fantastic. I think I've probably talked enough. In fact, I know I've talked enough because I need a cup of tea now, actually. But if you've got any questions about Daystate, you've got any questions about Cerakote or the Steyr, whatever, please feel free to ask them. You know, obviously we're very busy. I'm very busy, but you know, I will get onto YouTube and I will get onto Facebook, and I'll answer your questions as best as you can. Or you know, I try to be as honest as possible as I can about the situation with Daystate. So yeah, I think I've talked enough. So thanks very much for listening. I'm going to plug the website again, www.airgunbuyer.com. Everything that you see here is on the website. It is available. Obviously Pulsars, we've got one in stock, but there is an expanding waiting list for them. But at the moment it's not a big waiting list, but it's getting bigger. And I think, to be honest with you, when people see it, the waiting list is going to get bigger and bigger. And I personally now believe that this is actually going to be a successful product. So, you know, I wish Daystate every success, to be honest with you, with it. I think it's fabulous. But thanks very much anyway for watching and listening and putting up with me for another God knows how long, probably about half an hour ago, don't know what. I promise that the next video I'll make it short and sweet, just to make up for it, because I know, like some people, attention spans in, you know. But anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
I thought I was going to die of old age. It was good, but I don't know how you can talk for that long just off the top of your head.
Sorry.
That's alright. Can I go and get this video to eat now?
Yeah.